Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of Aubrey's Walt Disney World planning guide. If you are surprised that this is part 2 because you didn't watch part 1, you can click this link here. I'm also going to leave a link down below. Part 1 is all about booking your trip to Walt Disney World. This is going to be about all the details of planning while you're there. First thing you should do is download the app. This is a great app. I use the Disneyland app all the time. The Disney World one is just as good, except because your trip is bigger, you can link a lot more things to it. So link your confirmation number into it, and then your hotel will be on there, and that's where we're gonna start with booking all of our dining reservations. This can be overwhelming because there are so many options. If you are booked at one of the Walt Disney World hotels, you can make your dining reservations 180 days before your trip. I know that sounds like a long time, but you're gonna get to that 180 day mark, which is about 6 months out, and realize some of the restaurants that you wanna go to are completely booked on the days that you wanna go. That's just how it is. The popular restaurants are booked. So start with the restaurants you want to do the most and find a day in your trip that it is available. And there are multiple dining plans. So there's one that's kind of just quick service. There's one that's quick service, sit down, snack. I think there's a couple other more, but the one that I recommend, the one that I've always used, is the quick service, sit down, and snack plan. Those are kind of the levels of restaurants throughout Disney World. Some of the higher end restaurants require 2 sit down vouchers for the whole meal. So if you know that one day you're not going to use your sit down meal, you can combine 2 together to go to one of the nicer restaurants. And there's a lot of really good 2 meal restaurants that I would recommend. What I like about the meal plans is that it's paid for. You've booked your trip and you've booked all your food and you don't have to pay for it. It's like an all-inclusive resort because usually you get an appetizer, a main course, sometimes a dessert, and now you can get an adult beverage when offered at certain restaurants. The meal plan is really just the way to go. That's why in the first video I recommend the free dining plan if you can, because it's just dining at Disney World is a whole experience in itself. I'll give you some of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites, but these are kind of my top ones. Ohana's. Great restaurant, and it's actually located in the Polynesian Resort. It's not even in one of the parks, which don't think that you just have to eat in the parks. So many of the restaurants are in the hotels. For kind of like a quick service, sci-fi restaurant. It's in Hollywood Studios, and it is a fun little themed dining place. And it's just burgers and shakes. You sit in these cars. It's like themed dining at its a high Disney level. One of my favorite restaurants, we always go there every time we go to Disney World. A hard ticket to get. It's one of those ones that we have to check first, see what day it's available, and that's the day that we go. Our favorite grab and go, fish and chips in Epcot at England. You wouldn't think that's gonna be our favorite snack, but we eat fish and chips at Disney World at least 3 times, probably more. Most of the restaurants have really great themed dining if you're into that sort of thing. We are trying the Storybook Snow White one at the Fort Wilderness this year, which is a character dining. Magic Kingdom has some really great quick service. We do the Harbor Galley one, has a great tuna sandwich. Great snack shacks in Magic Kingdom as well. If you just want a bowl of tater tots, they've got a Friar's Nook, I think, just sells tater tots. There's also a stand that just sells waffle sandwiches. Take the time to do your research. All the menus are available on the website and the app. If you have questions about it, let me know. I've eaten at a lot of the restaurants and I could probably answer them for you. That's it for dining. The next step would be adding the tickets to your package. I am a huge fan of park hopper tickets. Disney World, I don't think that that's necessarily something you have to do. I still recommend it, but there's so much to do in one park that you really could just do one park all day, another park all day, but you really have to plan your dining and your fast passes all together if that's something that you're gonna do. We usually park hop 2 to 3 different parks a day. That's just us. We're ambitious like that, and it's nice to have the flexibility of going to other parks, especially if you want to make a lot of reservations and you can't necessarily make them all in the same park. It's nice to have the option of going wherever you want, whenever you want. So I recommend that, but like I said before, if you want to just do one park, I think Disney World, it's totally possible. Unlike Disneyland, always get a park hopper. So now that you have your tickets to Disney World, you've got to plan your FastPasses. If you are booked at the hotel, you can book your FastPasses 60 days out from your trip. And here's how their FastPasses work. So when we're planning to get FastPasses in advance, you've got a lot to consider. They have quite a few rides on FastPasses. I'm gonna list them all on my website, so if you guys want a full list, you've got to go to the website because there's too many to just list here. How it works is that you get 3 a day for one park. Say you want to get FastPasses for Epcot one day. You have to pick your top 6 things that you want to do. Because how it works is that a lot of the like e-ticket rides, you can't get all the FastPasses for that day. You kind of have to get a certain amount in each tier. So if you want to do Test Track and Soarin' at Epcot, it's not really an option because those are the 2 in the e-ticket rides. You've got to pick one or the other, and then you can do Spaceship Earth. You can't do every ride you want. You have to kind of pick and choose because of course everybody wants to get all the best 3 rides. That's just not, Disney's smarter than that. They're not gonna let you do that. So have about 6 options that you want to do and pick between that. So you really want to think about your timing. If you've already booked your dining reservations, you can kind of plan around that. Obviously, you don't want to go on a roller coaster right after you have lunch. So think about doing the coasters more in the morning and then the easier rides around when you're eating. Also, when you're booking these, like the dining, the more popular restaurants are booked, the more popular attractions are going to be booked, especially the newer ones like Toy Story Land and even Pandora. Those are the 2 newest parks. They're the hottest tickets. So if you want to ride the new rides in Pandora, figure out what day those are available first. Make that your day at Animal Kingdom. If you really want to ride the Slinky ride in the new Toy Story Land, find that first and make that your Hollywood Studios day. FastPasses aren't available just all the time. There's people before you that's booking your whole trip because you book your FastPasses for your whole trip starting that day 60. You don't have to wait each day to book your FastPasses. You can book everything on that one day, on the first day that you're getting there. And FastPasses aren't just for the attractions. You can also get them for shows. This is kind of our last resort. If we need a 3rd FastPass that day and we've already kind of have FastPasses for something else, we'll do the shows. I usually save my FastPasses for the coasters. We love the big coasters and things like Peter Pan that always have a line but are just like a classic ride that you feel like you have to go on. And we haven't been to Pandora yet, so that was really important for us to get tickets to that, and I have not been on the Frozen ride yet, so that was one of my top picks as well. So those are the big ones that we wanted to get this year. So like I said, you can only get 3 FastPasses per day in advance. That doesn't mean the day of you can't get more FastPasses. They have kiosks, which I think Disney World has an actual person you go to. At Disneyland we have machines, but I think in Disney World it's a person with an iPad that you get additional FastPasses from, but you can get more throughout the day. You just have to find these stations and get them there. Now that you've booked your dining and your FastPasses and you've got your tickets, let's talk a hot minute about extra things you can get. We love to take pictures, and we love that Disney World has a lot more photo ops and special kind of pictures. We get the Memory Maker Pass, which is an additional about $169, and you get all the downloads of your pictures. You get your ride pictures. For people who love photos, this is a great option. And another extra thing to add on are tours. We have taken a lot of the tours at Disney World. If you are, I'm not sure I'd recommend this for first timers, but if you've been a few times and you like to see the behind the scenes things, some of these tours would be great, but they're hours long, they're additional costs. We are gonna be there during the Flower Garden Festival, and there's a special tour for that I think we might do this year. My favorite ride of all time, I know, don't laugh at me, Living with the Land, but they have a behind the scenes tour that I make my family take every time we go, and you can bet we will be taking it again. You can make all these reservations in advance as well. They have the times and the prices all on their websites and the app. So if this sounds like something you want to do, you got questions about it, research it or let me know below and I'll tell you if I've taken the tour or not and if it's worth it or not. If you are booked at the hotels, do not forget to schedule the Magical Express, which is the bus that takes you from the airport to your hotel that is a free ride from the airport to your hotel. I think you have to call to book this. We've always called. I'm not sure if it's something you can do online. I'm sure you can because you can do everything online, but just call. It's easy. You can also book it from your hotel back to the airport. You just have to be a little bit flexible on what time you need to leave because they love to take you to the airport like 6 hours early. Still, on a trip that's expensive, every penny counts. Take the free bus back to the airport. And also, don't forget to order your magic bands. You can pick your color, have it delivered to your house so that when you're at the airport at the Magical Express, you just scan your wristband and you have started your trip. So fun. So don't forget to order that. It's very important. Not very important. Stupid. Whatever. I love the magic band. I feel like I should do a whole video on magic bands because I just want them to come to Disneyland so bad. So that is it of part 2 of Aubrey's Disney World planning guide. I know that was a lot of information at you really fast, so like I said, if you have questions, do not hesitate to leave me a comment below. I promise I will help you out in any way I can. Like I said, I'm not by no means a Disney World expert, but I have been a handful of times and I love to do my research. So let me know if you have any questions. My name's Aubrey. I make new videos every Thursday, so make sure you subscribe and follow me on all my social media, and I will see you guys next week. While I have your attention, I have to talk a hot minute about my boyfriend at the Oscars that were this past weekend. You all know I am in love with Captain America, and not just Captain America. I love his real life person, Chris Evans, because he is the most adorable human on the planet. And if you have not seen his pictures or videos from the Oscars, go look them up now, and you will fall in love with him just like I have. Don't laugh, Mom. You know it's true. It doesn't get any cuter than Chris Evans. It just doesn't.